In November 1970, hikers found a badly burned body in a remote valley just outside Bergen, Norway. The area was known as Isdalen, the Ice Valley, and had a local nickname, Death Valley, because of its history with suicides and mysterious accidents. The body belonged to a woman. Her face was charred beyond recognition, and she was lying on her back between two large rocks. Oddly, her front side was burned, but her back wasn't. Around her were carefully placed personal items, a watch, earrings, a ring, and some clothing. All of it arranged, not scattered. It looked deliberate. And yet, every label had been cut off her clothes. The serial numbers on her belongings had been filed away. There were no signs of identity, no name, no passport, nothing. An autopsy revealed that she had taken between 50 and 70 sleeping pills, a massive dose, but she was still alive when she was set on fire. There was soot in her lungs, meaning she had breathed in smoke before dying. Her death was officially ruled a suicide, but that didn't explain the eerie details. Then came the discovery that made the story even stranger. A few days later, 2 suitcases were found at the Bergen railway station. Inside were items that police traced back to the woman. In the bags, wigs, eyeglasses without prescription lenses, makeup, currencies from multiple countries, and more clothes, again with the labels removed. There was a notepad with strange codes, dates, train routes, and cities. There was also a tube of eczema cream with the prescription sticker scratched off. It seemed like every effort had been made to erase her identity. Police managed to match her fingerprints from the scene to some of the items in the suitcase. It was the same woman. And then they decoded the notepad. It wasn't a diary. It was a travel log. The woman had been moving through Norway under at least 8 different fake names. She stayed at hotels, changed rooms frequently, and paid in cash. Sometimes she claimed to be Belgian. Other times she said she was from South Africa or traveling as an antiques dealer. Each time her story changed, and each alias was backed by a different passport. People who saw her described her as elegant, well-dressed, and distant. She wore heavy makeup. One hotel employee recalled a strong, unusual scent, like garlic or a pungent perfume. She traveled alone but was seen with unidentified men from time to time. In one instance, a hotel worker said she overheard the woman speaking German with a slight accent. In another, someone said they saw her acting like she was being watched, always glancing over her shoulder. The police started to consider something much bigger than a simple suicide. Theories began to swirl. One was that she was a spy. This was the Cold War. Norway was a strategic location, home to secret missile testing and naval facilities. The woman's pattern of travel, the aliases, the wigs, the lack of identity, and the coded notes, it all pointed to someone living under deep cover. Some suggested she might have been watching something, or someone, and was silenced before her mission was complete. Another theory was more grounded in crime. Maybe she was a drug courier, or part of a smuggling operation. Her movements, the amount of cash, and the inconsistent stories could fit the profile of someone working in illegal trade. She may have been killed for knowing too much, or for making a mistake. Others still believed she had chosen to end her life, but in a dramatic and symbolic way. The location, the arrangement of her things, and the sheer strangeness of it all might have been her final message, one that would never be fully understood. But that theory raises its own questions. Why go to such lengths to erase your identity? Why travel for weeks across Europe under fake names, staying in upscale hotels, meeting unknown individuals, only to vanish in the woods and set yourself on fire? In 2016, the case was reopened by journalists and forensic investigators. They examined her teeth and bones using isotope analysis and determined that she had likely grown up in Central Europe, somewhere near the border of France and Germany. Her dental work suggested she came from a region with advanced healthcare, possibly upper middle class. But even with that information, her true identity remained hidden. She was buried in an unmarked grave in Bergen, in a zinc-lined coffin to preserve her remains for future examination. Her tombstone has no name, only the date she was found. The mystery of the Isdal woman has inspired podcasts, documentaries, books, and online investigations. People around the world continue to search for her real name, her past, and the reason she died in such a strange and terrifying way. Was she a spy whose cover was blown? A smuggler double-crossed by her handlers? A victim of an international conspiracy? Or was she simply someone trying to disappear, whose plan went horribly wrong? More than 50 years later, we still don't know. The Isdal woman remains one of Europe's most chilling unsolved mysteries, a ghostly presence frozen in time, a woman with many names and no identity. Some stories end with answers. This one ends with silence.